You know, I thought I was not going to get to speak with Kelly today. I did. I just ran over to apologize to you because I knew you waited, and I so wanted to talk with you. Out of all the people I've talked with today, you were the one I wanted to talk with. And I'll tell you why. For those of you, you're gonna hear a story in a minute. So I don't want to give too much of an introduction. But many of us saw you on television. Many of us saw you come out in the world, in the arena that you came from, which is disastrous, right? People like you, people like me, people like Debbie, when we're in the public a lot and we do what we do, the public doesn't understand it, but we then become this risk. We then become something that people don't want to be around anymore. Thank you for joining me here today, and I apologize to you. I'm so sorry.
No apologies.
I really
you're
do.
A godsend for getting the message out.
I want to talk with you a minute about this whole journey you've been on, and how for someone like you, this was like your worst nightmare, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you came out in public, you came on national television, right?
Yes, crazy.
Tell folks a little bit about your story, where you were, and why you decided to be so dang courageous, girl.
Well, you know what? I think that first of all, I found that courage comes through having faith and through a community of heroes that just rallied behind myself and my family, that just lifted us up, and I say that it's on their wings that we are soaring. And I think that what I think was surreal is that I always battled for many years different odd ailments, and I'd have different surgeries, and I felt like every 6 to 12 months, like many of us,
time for another surgery.
My system would just tank and something odd would happen. But I just love life. I love being a wife, a mother. I'm a special education teacher. I'm also a really active person. I loved obstacle course racing, and I just loved doing all that, and I just loved life. And I love my church family, just everything. But every 6 to 12 months I would just tank, and finally what ended up happening is in the middle of teaching circle time to my students, my right arm paralyzed. A few hours later, my other arm paralyzed, and it was just this crazy, went to the ER, they sent me to one of the top hospitals in the country. They did every blood test, CT scan, MRI, all these different things, and things were coming out, quote, normal, and the only thing they could think to diagnose me with, even with this arm paralysis, was that I had post-viral chronic fatigue.
There you go. That's a new name that a lot of women get. That one, boy, out there, she's got to be a chronic fatiguer.
They're to decrease your amount
Too
of
many
stress
kids, working a job.
Yes, and it was surreal. So they said that I would be better in 5 days, and they sent me home with my arm still paralyzed, and I was hoping I'd be better in 5 days, but I wasn't. My legs started getting weaker, and so I spent 5 months trying to find a doctor that could help me, and sure enough, a friend told me about a Lyme literate doctor, and I just kind of said, I don't remember being bit by a tick, and I don't remember that classic bullseye rash, because I was one of those people that I had had Lyme tests that had come out negative, and she just said, no, it's so much more than that. I really think you need to get these symptoms checked. So I found a Lyme literate doctor, and sure enough, I had the appropriate blood work drawn, and I have chronic Lyme disease, Bartonella, possible babesia, and mycoplasma.
Don't you love all those names?
I mean, and a partridge in a pear tree.
And then what it sounds like, and by the way, take first place for the award that you just won for all those cool things.
And at first I was elated to finally have a diagnosis, but little did I know the path.
What is that with us?
Yeah, because we just searched so long for answers, I was thankful to have an answer.
I don't know about you. How did you, well, first of all, let me back up for a little bit. How did you get from that place to taking your message out into the world?
Well, what ended up happening is when I met my Lyme literate doctor, I started on IV antibiotics, and I was
Yes.
on those for 7 months. And I was seeing baby steps of improvement, but what ended up happening is I got this odd flu bug, and I ended up, my blood levels went a little funky, so I had to go off the antibiotics just temporarily. And little did any of us know that on day 6, it would just go right to my spine, and that's when I was paralyzed now from the neck down. That was last year. And so I spent 3 months at Kindred Healthcare rehabilitating, countless hours round the clock of just rehab therapy, reconnecting my brain and my muscles, and they were the most phenomenal team to bring my body back. And I mean, I felt
Oh my God, can you
horrible.
even believe you're here?
No.
I mean, you got your kids here.
My kids are here, my husband's here, and every day is truly
Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, it's just like
yeah, him and my kids. Oh, I love the picture that
they're doing a selfie.
I love the selfie.
Shameless.
I love it.
There we go.
But I mean, my husband keeps me going, my kids keep me going, and I always said through all of this, if I had nothing left in my body, if I could just still give the kids and my husband my personality, and I would just take that for as far as I could. And it's not easy. I mean, there's the days that are just debilitating and excruciating pain, but slowly but surely my body started reconnecting. And so now, it's been a little over a year that I've been out of the rehab facility, and I still continue to battle crazy neurological and multisensory impairments. It's just, so I'm on oral antibiotic treatments. And I also am working with a chiropractor who's been phenomenal.
They are the...
Yeah, phenomenal.
I had a car accident in 2011, and, car accidents and, issues don't go along very well. But, the point that I want to make, though, is that sometimes the worst days of our lives open up new doors for liberation.
Absolutely. My thing I've been saying tonight, and what I've said all along, is through faith, friends, and family, like I said, are why I'm soaring here. And God can take a mess and turn it into a message.
God made certain promises to us.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I learned how to pray again.
Yes.
Because of this.
And you realize...
Not that I forgot, but
no.
I learned how to pray differently. In gratitude.
Gratitude, and you are brought down to the simplest of a lifestyle that also makes you see the simplest of blessings. And that is, that's what this journey has been about. And that's what was documented thanks to Ryan Squire at Kindred Healthcare, and that's what the Katie Show saw, and where all of this snowballed into...
What did Katie... Let's talk Katie. I wasn't going to bring up Katie, but you opened up the little door for a little bit for me, for the Katie thing. I want to believe that Katie got it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe Katie got it. Did Katie get it?
Yeah, matter of fact, her staff watched under our skin.
Okay.
So it was a big blessing. And Katie Carrick, being a phenomenal journalist that she has obviously had to show both sides of the story. And, she displayed both sides. But we were so thankful that Dr. Horowitz
What is the other side? That's the one I'm forgetting now.
I forget the other side.
What's the other side? I mean, what is the other side they're playing now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were talking to Susan, who implemented legislation in Virginia, and now we're going to be looking at the state that I'm from, to really say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So the other side, it's kind of interesting. I think the other side that you're referring to is the one that I had to still battle, that many of us battle.
Yes.
Because it's hard for the other side to stop for a minute and say, wait a minute. Maybe there's a reason somebody's immune system is really battling itself. Maybe in this, what God created is this masterful body.
Absolutely.
It's not stupid enough to attack itself.
No. And clearly we're in front of you because we're wanting help
Yeah.
to get answers, and I don't expect any doctor to have any specific answer, but just a roadmap. You know, it would have been nice throughout these years, and that, but then to find the right doctors who treat you the right way, they're heroes. They're absolute heroes.
Oh yeah, I honestly know I would not be here today.
Me
Yeah,
neither.
I would
Me
not be
neither.
here.
Me neither.
You know, what you went through had to be the scariest thing on earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I was in so much pain. I locked myself in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be the last time I ever go to the bathroom without my cell phone. But I locked myself in the bathroom and I couldn't open the door. But for you, did you think you were going to live?
No. Matter of fact, there were a few times that I knew death was quickly knocking at my door, and it was very near. And I knew if I didn't find a diagnosis or a doctor and find out what it was, that I wouldn't get better. But I just had my faith that God said, I'm going to get you through this. It's not going to be easy, but you will get a diagnosis and you will find a path. And that's when he led me to the Lyme Literate Heroes and the Lyme Literate, staff and nurses, and they're just godsends.
Well, you know, you and I, when you come on the show, we're going to talk in depth about this because it was an angel that directed me to my doctor.
Oh.
Now, I'm not kidding. It really is a story.
I believe that.
It wasn't going to happen, and it wasn't going to happen in that way. But I have to thank you for your courage because, you know, as I watched, you know, I thought to myself, given what I know now, and certainly Transformation Talk Radio and Epic Living TV and what we're doing, it's where I am today. But if I would have had your courage 10 years ago, when I really needed to battle, maybe I could have done more. But that's, for me, seeing you and knowing that people are going to watch you, they're going to get something, even though the other side is presented. Do you think, now when looking back, what do you think the greatest challenge for a Katie Couric or others that may be watching, what is going to be their challenge in hearing you and me here today?
They want to believe you, and I think that I think the biggest challenge is, I think what I would say for so many people is not just with Lyme, but with so many ailments. You don't get it till you get it.
Yeah.
But especially with chronic, the late stage Lyme, when you are battling something, and many people also, I had such a people could visually see how impaired I was.
Right.
But now today, as you and I sit here, it's hard to see the neurological, the sensory things that we still go through. And when you look, quote, normal, then what is it that's really happening? And that, I think, is the biggest challenge. But I think that, kind of to sit down and have honest conversations and be nothing but yourself and truthful and just trust that, that people are going to hopefully see within and see that so many of these courageous Lyme warriors that I meet and that, we battle, we fight beside one another and together. I see that we all have such a passion for just wanting to get better and get back to our, quote, normal lives.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and
exactly.
I think that the more that can be presented, the more that people can see what lives were before and what it's done to lives now and what people want to get back to. I think that just is such a display of how chronic and debilitating this illness is.
Well, you are a shining light.
Well, thank you. But
yeah, I mean, you're like a light.
Well, thank
you're
you.
like, I saw you and I thought, oh my God, she is an angel. You are an angel.
Well, there's so many brave warriors and heroes that have just come beside me that have gotten me here today.
Well, I look forward when you're going to join me on the show.
Whenever. Let's make a date.
I want to thank you.